stories nationally, leader of the Nevis Reformation Party bowing out of active politics after 38 years, and Department of Agriculture opens new abattoir processing wing. Regionally, Grenada's Prime Minister named Finance Minister of the Year. Internationally, Crimea bomb attack on school kills 19, and in sports, England beat Sri Lanka to take 2-0 series lead. 2-0 series lead. We'll have the details with these and other stories after this message.
Another look.
Different from how you've seen it before.
Another look.
Takes an in-depth look into business, politics, science, technology, religion, and more.
Another look.
Featuring documentaries from the BBC, regional features, and local ones too.
Another look.
Every Monday at 3 p.m. on the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse, Vaughan.
Welcome back on to the national news in detail.
I've been in politics for 31 years and I've been started around politics for 38 years. It's a long time. And there comes a time in life when you want to do something else. Apart from that, you need to step aside for the new generation and support them from the back end. That is how I feel.
Leader of the Nevis Reformation Party, NRP, the Honorable Joseph Parry. Mr. Parry, who has led the party since 1992, became Premier of Nevis when the party won the 2006 Nevis Island Assembly elections by defeating the Concerned Citizens Movement CCM 3 seats to 2. A new party leader will be elected at the party's convention on Sunday, October 21st, 2018.
It's a great thing that we can have a democratic election for all the world to see with no secrecy. And secondly, I expect the NRP to continue the principles of the founding fathers, which was to put Nevis first and to make sure that Nevis has its own government and that divisions work their government. Their mantra is peace, progress, and prosperity. And I continue to support that, and I expect that the new officials will continue to support that.
Mr. Parry will not be on the party's ticket for the next election.
I've made it absolutely clear that I am not taking part in any more elections, neither federal nor Nevis elections.
Honorable Joseph Parry. Meantime, among those vying for the top post of president or party leader of the NRP are Mr. E. Roberto Hector and Dr. Kelvin Daly. The NRP will also vote on its new strategic plan and its amended constitution. Moreover, Parliamentary Representative for St. Christopher No. 3, the Honorable Conris Maynard, will be the featured guest speaker at the convention. The convention will be held at the Jessops Community Center under the theme, Moving Forward Together. A new processing wing at the Abattoir Division of the Ministry and Department of Agriculture here on Nevis was commissioned today, Wednesday, 17th October. The new agro-processing unit will seek to increase the production of processed meats here on the island. In remarks at the opening ceremony, Minister with Responsibility of Agriculture, the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, explained that for this to be accomplished, the department will be introducing feeding lots systems where farmers will be able to feed animals to produce quality meat.
We want our farmers here on the island to buy into this. As we go along, we will be having demonstration and taking it beyond Indian Castle and Maddens and into the various communities here on the island of Nevis. Because we want to be able to provide the amount of meat and the quality of meat that the people of Nevis desires. And indeed, if we are providing quality meat, it means that we are providing meat that is wholesome and nutritious and also healthy. Because our eating habits for sure will determine exactly what we become as a people. The healthier you eat, the better, I believe, your overall status as a human being will be.
Speaking to the VOA Newsline following the ceremony, Director of Agriculture Mr. Randy Elliott noted that the division will be looking to increase its staff due to the completion of the new wing.
With this new wing having opened, we would have identified the need for additional staff. We also identified the need for some additional training that we'll be working working on very shortly in terms of training for some of the existing staff and some additional staff that will be taken on, because at the end of it, the abattoir will be run as a processing at the factory. So there actually a processing line where once we have a constant supply of water, we'll be constantly able to supply our demands.
Director of Agriculture, Mr. Randy Elliott. The commissioning of the new wing comes on the heels of the observance of World Food Day and a week of activities that are being held here on Nevis in celebration of World Food Day. Minister with responsibility for water services here on Nevis, the Honourable Spencer Brand, has vowed to make the water sector on the island climate resilient. He noted that this will be done through continued cooperation with regional and internal partners. This comes following Minister Brand's attendance at the 14th Annual High-Level Forum for Caribbean Ministers of Water at the Jewel Grand Montego Bay Hotel Resort and Spa in Jamaica, which ran from October 9th to the 10th, 2018, and hosted by the Caribbean Water and Wastewater Association, CWWA. The aim of the event was to promote climate resilience, innovation and partnership while addressing the issues of water and wastewater as resources in sustainable development. According to Minister Brand, the aim of the forum was to elevate water and wastewater issues to the political and regional agenda, namely the Inter-American Development Bank IDB, the Caribbean Development Bank CDB, UN Environment, the Pan-American Health Organization PAHO, the Caribbean Community CARICOM Secretariat, and other indigenous regional agencies. In police news, police has recaptured 23-year-old Ernesto Lawrence, alias Spanish or Stevie, of Sandy Point, St. Kitts. Based on a police communique, Lawrence was recaptured on Monday, October 15th in the Stapleton area by officers of the Special Services Unit and St. Kitts Nevis Defense Force during one of their patrols. He escaped from police custody on Friday, October 5th. Lawrence was taken into custody for the offense of larceny and is also a person of interest in an armed robbery incident which occurred in the St. Peter's area. He was also charged for the offense of escaping lawful custody and was remanded to Her Majesty's Prison. Prime Minister Dr. the Honourable Timothy Harris has demonstrated his commitment to the education of the nation's youth by presenting over $40,000 in bursaries to more than 80 students as part of his highly successful Help a Child program. The 15th Annual Help a Child Program Primary School Scholarship Awards ceremony was held today, October 17th, at the Mount Carmel Baptist Church in Boyo. The Help a Child initiative has evolved to include students of the Cotton Farmers Comprehensive School in Basseterre, as well as students who reside in constituency number 7 or St. Christopher 7, but who attend primary schools elsewhere. The $42,500 in scholarships that was presented today has brought the total amount awarded to date under the program to $294,000 and the total number of awardees to 588. Now entering its 15th year, the Help a Child program is a primary school scholarship award initiative where successful students from Dr. Harris's constituency, which is from Bellevue to Otleys, are presented with $500 each. The program began in 2004 with 24 children from the 4 primary schools in the constituency. The significance of the St. Mary's Biosphere Reserve to St. Kitts and Nevis and the inhabitants of the communities forming the St. Mary's Biosphere Reserves will be the focal points over the next few weeks in St. Kitts. Biosphere reserves are areas of terrestrial and coastal ecosystems promoting solutions to reconcile the conservation of biodiversity with its sustainable use. The St. Mary's Biosphere got this designation by UNESCO's Man and Biosphere program in 2011. The focus now would be to improve the visibility and branding of the St. Mary's Biosphere Reserve while highlighting its importance to its immediate residents. National MAB Coordinator St. Kitts and Nevis, Marquisa O'Loughlin, is expected to impart the knowledge gained from her attendance at a training course for coastal and island biosphere reserve managers on Jeju Island in South Korea to the communities forming part of the St. Mary's Biosphere Reserve. The St. Mary's Biosphere Reserve is a part of the World Network of Island and Coastal Biosphere Reserve and is one of the first biosphere reserves of the Caribbean island countries. And lastly, in our national news segment, The memorial service for the late Philo Wallace will be held this evening, October 17th at 7 o'clock at the Charlestown Methodist Church on Chapel Street. According to a statement released by the Foundation for Social Concerns FSC and the Nevis Christian Council, the memorial service will also be held in memory of 70 persons who have died by violence in Nevis. 17-year-old Wallace was shot while attending a party in October 2015 at Enrique's nightclub in Charlestown. It is alleged that an off-duty police officer shot him. The officer who was accused of shooting Wallace was later identified as Constable Xavier Jeffers. Before Jeffers received any charges in November 2016, the then acting director of public prosecution, Arajonoth Gosai, asked the magistrate court to obtain a coroner's report and conduct an inquest into Wallace's death. The inquest began in January 2017 and ended on March 10, 2017. The inquest called more than 24 witnesses to testify. Magistrate Yasmin Clark gave her summation of the inquest to a 5-member jury who deliberated for 2 hours and rendered 4-1 a justifiable homicide verdict in favor of Constable Jeffers. The constable was charged and later given bail. His case has not been tried. Since then, his family, various civil society groups, as well as individuals and media houses have continued to seek justice for Wallace. And that's our national news segment. You can visit our website at www.vonradio.com, or you can check us out on our social media page at Von Radio and our Von Radio YouTube channel. Regional news comes up next.
Something different to everyone. It's a place you love, a place as unique as you are, a place where you can be yourselves, a place for life's big surprises, and not to mention the small ones. Moments to cherish and moments that last a lifetime. It's a place for nurture and a place where you can grow together. It's home. So whether you're building, purchasing, or renovating, the Bank of Nevis is here to open the door, giving you the confidence to dream and the help you need to get there with a mortgage loan from the Bank of Nevis. The Bank of Nevis Limited, improving the quality of life.
Welcome back on the one to the regional news. Out of Grenada, Grenada's Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, Dr. Keith Mitchell, has received international recognition as Finance Minister of the Year for the Caribbean. The award from Global Markets was presented as part of activities during the recently concluded annual meetings of the World Bank and International Monetary Fund in Bali, Indonesia. In a letter to the Prime Minister announcing his selection for the award, Chairman of the Global Markets Editorial Committee stated, Grenada's economic progress under your stewardship in the past half-decade has been highly impressive. But for the country to have continued to improve its fiscal position and GDP growth since the IMF program was successfully completed in 2017 was of particular note to economists and analysts. The turnaround story involving rapid debt reduction, better administration of revenues and fiscal surpluses, among other achievements, has owed much to your leadership. Prime Minister Mitchell said he was elated and humbled to receive this award and dedicated it to all of Grenada, Carriacou and Petite Martinique. News from Trinidad, a Longdenville pastor was allegedly stabbed to death by another pastor on Saturday night, October 13th. The bloodshed aroused horror among worshippers in the community of Giltrace, Lamont Street, Longdenville, where the deceased Alicia Ali lived and worshipped. Investigators said Ali, 42, operated a church next to her home. At around 10:30 p.m., Ali reportedly got into an argument with a Guyanese bishop whose name was not disclosed and who is believed to have stabbed her multiple times in her face and upper body. Local media reports say her children, who heard the commotion, ran into her bedroom and found her bleeding from stab wounds. The suspect, who is a Guyanese national, ran out of the house, flagged down a passing car and escaped. Ali's daughter and son-in-law rushed her to the Chaguanas District Health Facility, where she was pronounced dead on arrival. Meantime, the anonymous Guyanese bishop was held on Sunday in connection with the stabbing death of his 42-year-old companion Alicia Ali. He told police he was sorry for his actions but carried out the act in a fit of rage. Sunday around midday, Eastern Division Police, acting on a tip-off, arrested the bishop who was on his way to a house. And lastly, in our regional news segment, the crew of the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Heriberto Hernandez repatriated 12 Dominican Republic migrants and returned two Haitians to Dominican authorities on Sunday evening. This comes following the interdiction of a migrant vessel on last week Thursday in waters just off Mona Island, Puerto Rico. The interdiction is the result of ongoing efforts in support of Operation Unified Resolve, Operation Caribbean Guard, and the Caribbean Border Interagency Group, CBIG. Two of the interdicted male migrants are Dominican nationals who are facing potential federal criminal immigration charges in Puerto Rico for attempted illegal re-entry into the United States. And that's our regional news segment. Stay with us for news around the world. Welcome back on to the international news. At least 19 people have been killed and dozens more wounded in a shooting at a college in Russian-annexed Crimea. An 18-year-old student ran through the technical college in Kerch, firing at fellow pupils before killing himself, Russian investigators say. Officials and witnesses have also spoken of at least one blast caused by an unidentified explosive device. More in this report.
Some of his friends told Russian journalists that he actually was pretty dissatisfied with his study in the college, and a few days before the attack he spoke about revenge to teachers. As far as we know, he bought the rifle officially something like a month ago, which is slightly strange because he's so young. Maybe a week before the attack he bought something like 150 pieces of ammunition. And we saw the videotape which was filmed by one of the witnesses during the attack. We could hear at least 11 shots. Also, there was a blast in the college. First there was a blast and then this guy started shooting.
Turkish investigators have entered the residence of the Saudi consul in Istanbul to gather more evidence about the disappearance of Jamal Khashoggi. Turkish officials suspect the Saudi journalist was killed during a visit to the nearby consulate on October 2nd. The consul, Mohammed Al-Ataibai, flew back to Riyadh on Tuesday. He denies knowing what happened to Mr. Khashoggi. Martin Patience reports.
The Turks have been complaining about the pace of this investigation. They say the Saudis have simply been dragging their feet, suggesting that they have something to hide. But Turkish investigators have been allowed into the residence of the Consul General. Now he has left the country. But that is significant because it's believed that Jamal Khashoggi was murdered, according to unnamed Turkish officials, inside the consulate. But then a black van went to this second building with speculation that his body was inside that. So Turkish investigators will be looking for more evidence.
Crowds of angry Hindu devotees have prevented women from entering one of Hinduism's holiest temples despite a historic Supreme Court ruling. Crowds of agitated protesters in Kerala attacked female devotees, many of whom turned back as a result. Several people, including an old woman, were injured as crowds threw stones at vehicles and attacked police officers. Here is one woman who was at the site opposing the changes.
We are stopping all the vehicles. We're going to make them get down and explain to them that we will not allow any women into Sabrimala, whatever their problem is. We were born here and we've never visited the shrine. Women can visit after they're 50 years old. That's the norm. The norm is fine.
And lastly, in our international news segment, the first recreational cannabis to be legally bought in Canada was purchased at midnight today, Wednesday, on the eastern island of Newfoundland amid caves of hundreds of people. Canada has become the second country after Uruguay to legalize possession and use of recreational cannabis. Medical marijuana has been legal in the country since 2001. But concerns remain, including about the readiness for police or forces to tackle drug-impaired driving. Information has been sent out to 15 million households about the new laws, and there are public awareness campaigns. And that brings us to the end of our news segment. The latest in sports is next.
Let TDC Financial Services help you go for your goals. Whether you're thinking of taking that grand vacation, down payment on a house, higher education, TDC Financial Services has various plans that will allow you to go for your goals. Choose from the Accumulator Plus, Investment Starter Plan, and Fixed Deposit. Ready to go for your goals? Visit us at TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
Welcome back, and now on to the sports. In cricket, the match was reduced to 21 overs per side after a 6-hour rain delay. Sri Lanka slipped from 57-0 to make 150 for 9, with Adil Rashid taking 4 for 36 and Tom Curran 3 for 17 in Kandy. Captain Ewan Morgan hit 58 not out and Jason Roy 41 as England comfortably chased down the target with 15 balls remaining. Opener Roy had got the innings off to a quick start with his 26-ball knock after Johnny Bairstow and Joe Root fell early. Ben Stokes finished unbeaten on 35 to help England to victory against Morgan. Summarized scores were as follows: Sri Lanka 150 for 9 in 21 overs, Dick Weller 36, Rashid 4 for 36. England 153 for 3 in 18.3 overs, Morgan 58 not out, Roy 41. England beat Sri Lanka by 7 wickets. The interim boss of USA Gymnastics has resigned after her appointment was questioned by Olympic champions Simone Biles and Ali Rezman. Mary Bono was criticized after appearing to oppose Nike's advertising campaign with Colin Kaepernick. She was appointed as interim president and chief executive on Friday. Bono, 56, had also previously worked for a law firm which represented USA Gymnastics and its ex-team doctor Larry Nassar during a sex abuse scandal. Nassar has been sentenced to more than 300 years in jail for abusing gymnasts. His victims included 2016 Olympic gold medalists Rezman and Biles. In a statement confirming her resignation, Bono claimed she had seen assaulting behavior by a coach when she was a young gymnast. In football, Real Madrid has opposed staging a Spanish league game between Barcelona and Girona in the United States. La Liga asked the Spanish Football Federation RFEF for permission to hold the match in Miami on January 26th. In a letter to the RFEF, Real said it was fundamental teams play home and away at each other's stadium for the integrity and equality of La Liga. The RFEF president, Luis Rubiales, has spoken out against the game, as has the Spanish Players Union AFE. European governing body UEFA, the US Soccer Federation and CONCACAF, which governs the game in North and Central America and the Caribbean region, also need to give their permission for the game to happen. And lastly, in our sports segment, in athletics, World and Olympic 800-meter champion Caster Semenya's battle to stop a rule change affecting female athletes with high testosterone levels could see her miss the bulk of the 2019 outdoor season. Governing body, the IAAF, intended to bring in the new rules on November 1st, but has put that back to March 26, 2019. It wants to wait for the outcome of a legal challenge from Semenya first. The new rules aim to restrict the levels of testosterone in female runners. They will apply to women in track events from 400 meters up to the mile and require that athletes have to keep their testosterone levels below a prescribed amount for at least 6 months prior to competing. And that's it for sports. The weather is next. Welcome back. The weather tonight will be partly cloudy with brief periods of increased cloudiness and a 60% or moderate chance of passing overnight showers. The weather tomorrow will be partly cloudy with a 50% or moderate chance of passing morning showers, with the chance of showers decreasing into the afternoon. The winds are east-northeasterly at 8 to 16 knots or 15 to 30 kilometers per hour with higher spells over elevated terrain. The seas are moderate with significant wave heights between 1.5 and 2.1 meters or 5 to 7 feet. A small craft advisory remains in effect mainly for the waters east of the islands. The sunrise tomorrow will be at 6 a.m. And that's how we wrap up the major news package for today, Wednesday, October 17th, 2018. Before we go, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Nationally, leader of the Nevis Reformation Party bowing out of active politics after 38 years, and Department of Agriculture opens new abattoir processing wing. Regionally, Grenada's Prime Minister named Finance Minister of the Year. Internationally, Crimea bomb attack on school kills 19. And in sports, England beats Sri Lanka to take 2-0 series lead. On behalf of the rest of the news team, I am Jarvis Brown wishing you a pleasant evening.